Hi, I'm Jale. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a look into the current conjunction between Mercury, Lilith and Chiron in Aries, which is going to be happening sort of between, I think it's the 13th to the 15th roughly of April. Now obviously that will be give and take sort of a few days afterwards. We just want to see what the effects of this is. What that's going to produce, what we're going to see from it, and essentially any other information that is relevant really for this conjunction, so that we can kind of be a bit more aware of what's going on. Obviously with all general readings it is better to get someone to have a look into your astrology sooner rather than later, because sooner rather than later, I don't know what I'm talking Clearly there's an issue with the Mercury. Obviously Mercury being communication, Chiron being the wounded healer, and Lilith being the wounded feminine. It is always better to sort of have a look into your charts on a personalised level, because then you will understand how that affects you on an individual level. This is a general reading and may not go into that level of depth, because I can't do that for everyone, unfortunately, who watches. But let's see what Spirit wants us to know. Let's see if there's anything that we need to be aware of with this. And yeah, what we can expect to see sort of afterwards, and you know what this is all about really. Let's have a look. Let's see, these cards are still wanting to be shuffled, I think. One, two, and let's see, 1, 2. So this is the Fountain Tarot deck that I'm utilising here. Let's just see what else they want to tell us really in relation to this. Now this is the reading that my guides wanted me to do, and so let's see what they want to bring forward in amongst all this. That card wants to come out. This is about a purification of the feminine side, alright? I'm just hearing she's submersed in her elements. She's fully submersed, she's poised and ready. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Wow. Someone's ready to come forward. This is a purification for both the masculine and feminine here. We've also got the Emperor. This is both the Emperor and the Empress will be undergoing a purification within themselves and the union of the feminine side. We've also got the Knight of Cups. Someone who is very much in their feelings here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Someone who's very much in their feelings here, that they're undecided how to move forward, because I feel like this Mercury conjunction is confusing them a little bit. If there's previously been competition or conflict around this area, maybe with yourself, in your job, in your work, in your love life, in your family life, this will be eased, all right? We've also got the Queen of Swords here. So this Queen of Swords is essentially, this is meant to ease her energy a little bit, and for it to soften a little bit here, rather than, because I feel like the Knight of Cups wants to come forward and give her a message, but she's on this very defensive energy. She's in a very defensive energy, and he's not able to do that until she balances a little bit. Once that is balanced, there is definitely a decision to be made here. We've got the Judgment card, which is about decisions, healing. This is about emotional healing. There is an emotional heal or emotional wound that is being balanced out as we speak. And I'm just hearing it's to get them used to each other, how they communicate, how they interact, what they want to do, how they want to feel. Someone as well with the Five of Wands in the reverse card wanted to The feminine wants to have the masculine take note. And the masculine's trying to take note, but he doesn't want to come forward and sort of make his shot, because he's not sure if she's still in this aggressive energy or this very defensive energy. So she is doing her own thing. She's in her power. It's like there's no competition here. And he's trying to decide if she is going to shoot him down. That is what this energy is about. And he's debating whether to make a move or not. This is what this energy is going to bring. All right. Now, if you're in a union, then this is what you're going to see. Because look, we've got the Magician here and the Six of Cups. So this is about reunion, manifesting reunion. This is all working towards a manifestation of reunion. They're also saying here this is to get comfortable with the self. Seeing where the land lies. Wow. Look. This is essentially this is what this is bringing. This is more emotional comfort, union, stability. But it's balance. Can you see 10 of Cups? The top or the pinnacle of that is a totally balanced state of union. It looks like, I mean, honestly, it looks like people that have merged into one, that they've kind of, there's union here. Wow, look, the Emperor and the Empress have come out again. Look, these two have come out again. This is meant to solidify and ensure that the bond between these two individuals, any unions that are currently needing to come into play at this present moment in time, either now, between now and the next couple of years, this is softening it's like they're softening the communication. It's allowing this path to clear for someone to kind of walk through to be into the person that they need to be, ready for this union. But there's still competition here. This person, you could be dealing with a karmic situation here who is not letting this person go, because we've also got now the Five of Wands upright. Competitive element with the Magician. So the Magician's trying to get themselves out of something here, a competitive relationship. Maybe this person that they're with is not letting them go, and so the counterpart, your counterpart that's in a third party situation, if they are in one, is trying to manifest a way out via this conjunction. I'm just hearing he's seen the light. He's seen the light. And I'm just hearing he's no longer fooled by this. If your person was taken in by a certain situation or person, that's they're coming out of that. They're just trying to navigate out of it to come into union with who they're meant to be. Now, if you're sat there thinking, well, he doesn't have or she doesn't have a karmic, there's going to be, then this is about an element of maybe you, maybe the other person, maybe both of you, that is of a very defensive energy, that is in a competitive energy, that needs to be transmuted. Because we've got the Queen of Swords with the Five of Wands, that needs to be transmuted and alchemized before anything is able to move forward here. We're not going to be in a position to move forward. We're not going to be in a position to move forward unless that element has been alchemized, all right? Because it's like that part is the stepping stone into the next part, which again, if you haven't passed that test, you're not going to get to go where you need to be. Now, also, there are definitely tests here. And I'm going to hold my hand up. I had one recently and failed. I'm going to just be very honest with you. Yeah, there's just no... there's just, yeah, there's just... I'm laughing because... this whole cleanse is about you reevaluating how you express your way of expressing yourself. Is there a need for change? Now, I'm not sitting there saying you have to sit and pretend that you don't feel a certain way and then just pretend that everything's all right and then just pretend and pretend. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking be yourself, but fine tune your instrument in terms of, can you be more laid back about something? Can you be more, because it's, I'm not talking here about changing your whole character because then you're just turning into someone else. I'm talking about finely tuning you and how you express yourself. This is about an advanced expertise of self-expression. This is not about low vibrational things that most people should have really kind of started to understood now anyway. Like, you know, how to say please and thank you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you're expressing yourself and the way you're carrying and holding yourself, because don't forget, we are all our own entities and every interaction we have creates a ripple effect. Be mindful of what you're creating and what you're giving to someone. Be mindful of where you're putting your energy. Be mindful of what that energy is creating. Be mindful of where that energy is going, and be mindful of what that energy is going to be going on to create, because that is what's being asked to look at. Because after this conjunction, I don't feel like there will be an opportunity to restructure that. This is what I feel the conjunction is for. It's to, so for example, if you go into a job and you're very capable, maybe you're working from home, or take it as it resonates, you're very capable, you're very switched on, but you are very aware that maybe everyone else is not to that level, or maybe everyone else is not understanding you. Now, you've got a couple of choices here. Either leave and go to another job, because clearly you're outgrowing a job here potentially, or try and understand from that person's point of view. So take yourself back to when you were learning, and try and understand that maybe that person doesn't have the expertise you have because they don't have as much experience, and then try and help them in that way. Now, if this is a personal situation and it's a friendship group, then no. What's the point? You know, it's like you've obviously potentially outgrown a friend, and therefore I would, focus on people that potentially are going to be in alignment with you. I'm talking here about the kind of things that are going to provide something. Like if you're in a work contract or if you're in a family setting, obviously work through those things, but with anything outside of that is kind of coming up against something that doesn't need to be spoken about and discussed, because obviously Mercury is the planet of communication. This is about cleansing and retuning and balancing our communication, how we interact. Mercury is also about how we learn. Mercury is also about lessons and teaching, all right? So, pay attention for any lessons that are coming to you. Like if you're usually very rigid and fixed, is someone coming to you asking for you to be a little bit more laid back, because then that's going to help them out, and it doesn't take anything out of your time. It just means that you're evolving because you're not as rigid in your approach. Then I would say go for it, because that's the kind of thing this is kind of probably teaching you. Oh, one sec. So yeah, let's have a look what else. Let's see what else they want to say about this conjunction here. Let's see what else they want to say about this conjunction. Mercury conjunct Lilith conjunct Chiron, please, Spirit. What else do we need to be aware of? It's like if you haven't already become fairly aware of what it is you're here to do, I feel like you're going to be getting signs as well around this date. Because this is like massive teaching capabilities, massive lessons. But it's not just, because don't forget, we've just had a massive karmic cleanse. So anything that comes from that is bound to be showing us something to help us, you know. Are these all the right way, Spirit? Do I need to be moving them at all? They're saying leave them. Okay. Right, this is to help you make decisions. Two of Wands. This is also to help you make decisions. So if you're unsure, you're going to be reflected back more clear choices so you know what you need to do. Yeah, look, Eight of Swords. This is someone in their head. Upright is someone stuck in their head, not knowing what to do. In the reverse, this is someone who is being freed from restriction, because we've also got the Ace of Swords in the reverse. That's the Nine of Swords in reverse. So worry, all right, releasing worry, releasing concern, releasing the need to control how you interact with people, releasing the need to worry about how it's being received, I mean, obviously, you know, don't go sort of guns blazing into calling people, you know, C words or anything, but do you know what I mean? It's like, you are, I feel like you're being liberated. It's like you're free to be a bit more of you, and not so reliant on a confine or a construct that is limiting how you communicate with certain things. Because look, we've got the Star in reverse here as well, which is about healing and about something in the future. But then we've got the Page of Swords. He's picked the sword up. He's going to use the sword, or she's going to use the sword. But can you see the sword's now transparent? It's like it's not blocking anymore. So any communication issues that were blocking or causing worry or causing concern, it's been freed up. It's like that energy's been totally freed up, ready. And as you can see, you can see through the sword, seeing through the words, seeing through the energy, understanding what the energy is showing. We've also got here the Strength in the reverse and the Seven of Wands in the reverse. So feeling maybe a little bit vulnerable, maybe feeling a little bit unable to defend yourself. Maybe you're hearing a lot of truth. Maybe there's a lot of people reflecting the light of truth to you at the moment. You're like, wow, there's people telling me all kinds of things that I don't know if I want to know about. It's like you're seeing through and you're seeing the truth of a situation. Whereas maybe before you were undecided or confused, there's a very clear narrative that's being painted here that is probably going to leave you very sure of where you are standing in the universe, very sure of what things are to come and where your direction is going and what it is you need to do and where you stand in amongst all of this energy. And let's see what else they want to tell us here. Yeah. Because of, now, if it, again, take that last part as it resonates. If this is, you're sat there thinking, well, this, I've already done that. It could also be a counterpart. It could be someone around you that is now seeing that in accordance to how they're viewing you also. Right? Because we've also got here the Page of Cups. This is about an offering of love. Now, they've seen through something here. You've seen through something. Someone's seen through something with that clear sword in that Page of Swords and the truth. It's like they're maybe keeping an eye on you. Maybe they've understood their feelings towards you. Maybe you've understood your feelings towards someone else. Maybe, you know, they've seen something. Maybe you've seen something. The Page of Cups is an offering. They're getting ready to make an offer. Maybe you're getting ready to make an offer. Someone with you, in reference to you, has either seen your capabilities, seen your light, seen your love, seen a feeling, and is coming towards you. The only difference we've got is this person, if it's to do with love, we've got the King of Cups in the reverse and the Four of Swords in the reverse. So the Four of Swords upright is like a pause before they offer, a pause before something comes forward. But the Four of Swords in the reverse, this is not someone that's meditating on themselves. It's like they maybe have, that's the clear part. They understand how they feel towards you. They understand that this is where they want to be. But the difference here is that they haven't yet understood within themselves the truth. So they've seen the truth according to something else outside of themselves, externally, maybe a job, maybe a loved one, maybe someone that they are not in a relationship with yet, or maybe someone they are in a relationship with yet. But there's something within them they still haven't seen yet. There's something within them that they still haven't understood. And this is what we're waiting on here. This is what we're transitioning through into by these placements. And obviously after the 13th into the 15th, that will probably shift into something different, because then we've got a few retrogrades coming up in May. So it feels like it's gearing up for all that. My guides were like, yeah, then it's your birthday as well. And I'm like, thank you, but I don't think that's going to be relevant to me. That's so funny. Thank you, though. Thank you. That's very sweet. My guy's like, yeah, but and also don't forget your birthday. Yeah, I don't know if thanks. In fact, that's a good point. Maybe they're trying to show us something. Right, so what they're obviously trying to tell me something. So what's the relevance of that date, please? What is the relevance in relation to this reading? What is the relevance to that date? Because there's obviously a reason they've given that. And my guy just said, yes, there is. What is the reason you've given me this date? What is the significance? Because my birthday's on the 20th of April. So I'm looking at the 13th to the 15th. So there could be an outcome with this on the 20th for you guys. Let's have a look. It's ready. Notice how I'm sat here like, gulp. You're going to get your truth. If you're waiting on information, if you're waiting on insight, if you're waiting on communication, if you're waiting on some kind of verbalized agreement, contract, look out for the 20th of April. And let me know in the comments, did it come? Maybe it's a loved one. Maybe it's a job offer. Maybe it's something that you're wanting to hear about. Maybe it's, some news of someone. We've got the Chariot in the reverse. Now, upright, this would be someone that's very balanced, moving forward at a very fast pace. But this is in reverse. Let's see what this Chariot is in reverse about here. What can you tell us about Chariot reverse, please? Why is the Chariot reversed? Why is the Chariot reversed? Why is the Chariot in reverse, please? What is the significance of the Chariot in reverse? A choice. A choice. And therefore disappointment. Someone makes a choice. They're no longer in this argumentative energy. I feel like the climax to this situation will be on the 20th. And it's surrounding the Queen of Swords I mentioned earlier. Now, again, if you didn't resonate with that, it could be, again, an element of the Queen of Swords that needed to be kind of transmuted a little bit in order to give strength for the next stage, the next stage to come, which is, this is willpower, all right? in order to have that forward movement, Page of Wands, to start something afresh, in order to, and this is Six of Wands here, in order to establish something publicly. It's like this is now being publicly spoken about. This is now, you know, it could be a relationship that's been announced. That Ace of Swords could have been news of the job, of the public announcement of they've officially given you the job. They've come forward and offered you something. Your counterpart has maybe finished with this person. They've magicianed themselves out of a situation to come to you. Because look, now they're the King of Cups and they're upright. They're understanding their emotions. They're able to move forward without sort of that unbalanced emotional state that the King of Cups in reverse would have offered. Now, if this isn't a love scenario, this could be a family member who's given some insight on a particular problem to help. This could be someone who's overseeing you, who cares about you, who is trying to bring some help, some insight into the situation. If it's not a loved one, it could be a boss, it could be a manager who's seen your ability, who's got some kind of connection to you. It could be a family member, it could be your dad, it could be a grandfather. But they're observing here. They're observing and they're ready to come forward with an offer. They're ready to come forward with an offer. This card has slipped over. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have seen that, should I? Should I have seen that card? Oh my god, I don't know what to do. What do I do? They're just saying carry on. I can't, this is, I feel like, it's not bad news, but just FYI, this is not bad news. This is really good news, but it's like, I feel like I'm ruining a surprise if I let this information out the bag. And my spirit guide's just saying you are. And they've just told me off. They're saying, Jale, we know that you are trying to think of a way around this so that you can explain to them in a clue that is going to give them the insight about what the outcome is for this. But they're saying, don't you dare. And we know that the time that you're spending going quiet, that you're trying to formulate a plan to dig a way around this situation, to give the information to everyone, but you're not supposed to. Stand down. They said, remember what you said about lesson. Remember what they said about test. This is my test. I'm not allowed to say anything. Is it? Hang on. Let me just check here. So what do I say then? I can't show the card. Oh, this is so difficult. But this way, they're saying no and to shut up now, and not in a horrible way, but in a Jale, stop trying to change the goalposts, stop trying to change the rules. And obviously I'm not God, so I'm getting told off, because obviously they're just like, who do you think you are? Which kind of fair enough, because you know what I mean. I'm just going to, I don't want to ruin this, right, what can I tell them then? Like, I can't just, this is supposed to be a reading. Oh man. Right, let me pull a card that's going to, for God's sake. Yeah. Am I allowed to show this one? Seriously? Hang on a minute. What am I allowed? This is okay. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to just go be a good person and listen to my guides. And I know I've had people before going, oh, you shouldn't be, if they're talking to you like that, then that's bad. You shouldn't be listening to that. No, I am going to listen to it, because they've saved my life before, which is probably a lot more than you would ever do. So, sorry, but that's just my way of doing things. Okay, so we've got the diplomatic card has been given now. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse. So if you've been at a standstill with a situation, a pause with a situation, what am I supposed to do? Now I feel awkward about not saying. This is weird. I don't want to be in this position. If you've been at a standstill, because now I feel like I'm lip servicing. If you've been at a stand, they're saying it's for, they don't want to ruin a surprise. It's like they don't want to, if people are going to be getting good news around a certain thing, it's like they don't want to sort of sit and explain every part of that good news, because what's the point of, some people might want a surprise, which is kind of fair enough, because I would. They're just saying if there was a pause or if there was a stalemate, the path forward is going to be freed up, all right? Bottom of the deck, the sun in reverse, which is like, it's like if it was before a little bit of disappointment with the sun in reverse and a little bit of kind of confusion around a certain situation, this is going to be freed up now. Yeah. This is going to be made much better. Okay, the magician was trying to create something here for you in order, and it was working very hard. 8 of coins was working very hard on something. Now we've got the 10 of swords in the reverse position here. This is the 10 of swords in the reverse position. I need to get a new webcam. I need to put that on my list of things to do, to be fair. This webcam's getting insane. We need to figure out why this is the opposite way around, why it's not upright. It says 10 of swords basically, but it's not functioning, it's not kind of focusing in. We need to figure out, because we've got the magician upright, the 8 of swords upright. So the magician is trying to manifest this unfrozen, reversing a stalemate, reversing a pause, okay? But we've got the 10 of swords in the reverse. So let's figure out, what is 10 of swords in reverse, please? What is 10 of swords? So we've got 7 of cups and 6 of swords. So they're moving on from choices. They're moving on from choices. Moving on from confusion. But what's the why is it reversed though? What is the 10 of swords reversed? Why is... So the 10 of swords, it's like in the reverse, is not quite over. It's not quite finished. Clarify the 10 of swords reverse, the magician and the 8 of coins, please, Spirit. So this is... Some of you are going to not maybe get as... Why do I feel like this? I feel like they've given me the polar opposite of the first card that I wasn't allowed to talk about. Well, we can't. This is ridiculous. Like, I feel like they're now giving me random cards just to make it look like there's not a... Come on, guys. This can't be right. Alright, let's pull these cards again. This is so confusing. They didn't... See, this is the thing. This is around the communication side, right? Now, first card we got was a really... blew my mind, but they were like, no, don't ruin the surprise. Then the second lot of cards I got were awful, and I'm like, how does that work? How can it go from so good to so bad? Now there's 2 options here. Either my guides are having a giggle and they're trying to see, this is a little test for me, or because people are watching, it's going to be 2 very different outcomes for people. And so I can't just give great news, because then what about the people who aren't going to get the great news? What about them? So let's solve the problem. Let's clear this up, because don't forget, Mercury, this is about teaching. Chiron, this is about healing. Lilith, wounded feminine. We need to get the information right, because this is about healing information. So Spirit, what can you tell us please about this confusing energy? What is the truth, please? Right. Right. We've got the Four of Cups in the reverse. So an offer that was maybe previously wasn't acknowledged. All right. An offer that was previously not acknowledged. And we've got Ten of Cups in the reverse. An offer that was previously not acknowledged because they knew potentially that there was some kind of emotional fulfillment. Now, either you or maybe someone you're connected to. Maybe they put this on pause because they weren't ready. Now, this makes sense because this makes perfect sense. There is some tests going on at the moment, as I mentioned right at the beginning, right? Now, if this is a counterpart situation, if you don't quite hear the good news around the 20th, it's because there was something on your path that you were maybe asked to do that maybe you didn't fully understand or maybe you didn't quite do. And your counterpart in the situation has also mirrored that and also didn't quite complete a lesson. And so it's not ready yet. This part of the journey is not ready yet. Now, if this is not to do with a love connection, if it is not to do with a counterpart situation, this would have been to do with something that you've had to be tested on for yourself. So maybe you were asked to go above and beyond. Maybe you were asked to go outside of your safety net or outside of your usual confines, and you didn't quite do that, or you didn't quite meet that. And maybe at the time you thought, well, this is really weird. What am I supposed to do here? It could have been that that was a test for you. And so we're currently in this kind of pause position to see how you react. Now, I feel like there's going to be another test between now and the sort of when this ends, right? Could be between now and the 20th, all right, of April. So what I recommend you do is look back on certain instances or situations where you feel like there's been a test, or you feel like there was something not quite right about that situation. Was it testing you? Was it meant to see how you'd look or you'd react? If it was, rectify that, rebalance it, and then prepare, because I feel like you're going to get another test between now and the 20th, which is going to check to see if you've learned what you were supposed to learn. If you pass that test, am I allowed to say this? They're saying now you're allowed to say it. Now you're allowed to say it. If you pass the test, this Four of Wands with the Emperor is for you. If you pass this next test, what is the test? It's going to be different for everyone. Let's ask first of all, because we'll finally tune that in a minute. Let's ask first of all, if it's not a counterpart situation, what is the outcome? Because I feel like that is the counterpart situation here. If it's not a counterpart situation and it's just for you, and you're not, let's say you're not sort of in your twin flame journey, or you're not in a situation where that resonated, then justice. This is about balance. This is about karmic rewards. This is about movement forward. This is about rebalancing of the scales. This is about opening a doorway into your abundance on the Chariot. On the Chariot. The Chariot is now upright because you've learned. Because you've learned. All right. And what follows is the Star, is the abundance, reward, healing, success. No more juggling. Do you remember at the beginning we saw the Two of Wands? No more confusion. You already know. You already know, guys, all right? No more of the confusion. No more of the confusion. All right, so let's pull some oracle cards really for outcomes. We already know the outcome, but I mean that blew my mind, but let's just see here. Let's go to Nature's Whispers, a deck that was kindly gifted to me, as was the Fountain deck by Kate. Thank you so much, Kate. This Nature's Whispers is by Angela Hartfield and Josephine Wall. Let's pull some outcome cards, please. So, the Chiron, Mercury, Lilith conjunction, which will be full of lessons and tests. Oh yeah, what was the test? What is the test? Let's ask what the test is first. What was the test? What can you tell us about this test, first of all? What can you tell us, please, about the test? Because that's the other thing we need to know, wasn't it? We wanted to know about the test, first of all. What is the test? And then we'll look at an outcome. What's the test, please? What is the test? What is the test? What is the test? What can you tell us, please, about this test? Right, these cards are very difficult to shuffle because they're still new. Let me do it this way. What is the test? Yeah, there's quite a few tests. Bottom of the deck. Perfect setting. Wow. She's like, yes, you're ready. You guys are ready. The test is make a decision. That's part of your test, is to make a decision. Make it now. Make a decision. Do you remember the first two cards were that Two of Wands? So maybe you're unsure of a person. Maybe you're unsure of where to move forward to. That's part of this. All right. Now, you could be getting lots of offers deliberately, and you need to decide. We've got let love be your beacon, vulnerability. Let love be your beacon and vulnerability. So there's something here that you need to surrender to, and then that surrender will give you this outcome, this expansion. That's the outcome to this expansion. It's like abundance. And can you see the rainbows here? Bottom of the deck, this is insane. Bottom of the deck, make a wish. Okay guys, this has been your reading for what can we expect to see with the Chiron, Mercury and Lilith conjunction. Thank you for all your likes, shares and subscriptions. It means a lot to me. If you've reached the end of this video, thank you for watching and listening. It means a lot. Doing lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do try and do an earlier live, usually Monday or Wednesday. About 2 p.m. British Standard Time. The rest of it will be between 6 to 8 p.m. British Standard Time. Please do join us. They are general readings. We only do general readings. It's so that obviously if you don't get a chance to watch, that you can watch later, and that hopefully it will still have messages in there for you. I'm sure the guides are saying yes, it will. We don't offer individual readings unless they are booked and they are personalised at that point in time, and it's either done by video or however you choose. Information is in the description box if you wish to book. And until next time, take care.